Good evening and welcome to Injustice Investigations. I'm your host this evening, Al Scott. This evening, our story takes us to Houston, Texas. And I'm sure by now you know what's going on in Houston, Texas. There is a desperate search to find a missing 4-year-old girl. Her name is Maleah Davis. We first learned of her name Friday the 3rd, when she was last seen with her stepfather. A brief update before we let you know what we found out today. The stepfather alleges that him and his 1-year-old son, along with Maleah Davis, were on the way to Bush Airport to pick up the daughter's mother, who allegedly had been out of town, laying her father to rest. However, Vence says that he heard what sounded like a popping sound, and which told him that he might have a flat. Now, after that, he pulled over, allegedly, to the side of the road. Shortly after, Vence claims he pulled over to the side of the road. A blue Chevy pickup truck pulls in right behind him. 2 Hispanic males get out. One makes a couple of comments about Maleah Davis being pretty, being sweet. Shortly after that, Vence alleges that the other male, Hispanic male, hit him in the head with an object, and after that, he was knocked unconscious. Don't know how long it was before he regained consciousness, but when he did, he was in the back of the blue pickup truck with Maleah Davis, who's 4 years old, and his son, a toddler, 1. 3 guys were inside of the truck. Now, at first he said 2 Hispanic males. Now he says 3. Now, that part, if this happened the way he says it happened, that could have been the case. 2 could have gotten out, 1 could have stayed in. If what he's saying is true. But, now let's look at many red flags here. First, I don't know how lucky, and this has not been said by law enforcement, this has not been said by family. I'm just trying to paint a scenario here of why 3 Hispanic males would pull up behind Vence, and it just so happened to be their lucky day because they're into sex trafficking, they're into human trafficking, and Lord, it's their lucky day when they pull up behind Vence, who they don't know, and kidnap him, his stepdaughter, and his son. It's their lucky day. Now, after that, I'm in the back of the truck. Maleah seems to be the star of the show here, so to say. Maleah Davis. The one that they want is in the back of the pickup truck with her stepfather and his son. Maleah Davis is who they want. I would think Maleah Davis would be inside the truck with the alleged kidnappers, if that's who they really want. Somewhere down the line, I'm thinking they probably had to run into a stop sign, a red light, I guess depending upon where they're going, which would have been an opportunity for them to jump out of the truck. But that never happened. Vence, the stepdad, alleges he kept going in and out of consciousness, Well, when he finally woke up, back 100%, so to say, his Nissan Altima Silver is missing. His son is with him. He cannot find Maleah Davis nowhere. He looks. He don't see her. He tries to get help. Nobody helps him. I don't know what kind of help he tried to get. Well, here's his next thought. After Maleah wasn't there, and he tried to get help, but couldn't, his next thought was to walk with his son to the hospital. Okay? Now listen to me, and hear me good. This story has got national attention because it's not making any earthly sense whatsoever. As I said, I think it was last night, this story has more holes in it than Donald Trump got lies. If this really happened, I think I put myself in this place. If it was me and this really happened, I could care less about my injuries right now. Damn getting me to a hospital for some medical treatment. We need to find my daughter. We need to find my stepdaughter. But instead, I put my stepdaughter on the back burner. And I go to the hospital. That's a little spot up here. I need to get that checked out. He was treated for a hand injury, sent on his merry way. Now, I wonder why they would take the silver Nissan Altima. What did they want with that? I wonder why he's still alive. And it's a fact. If anybody can identify these three men, Vence can. Vence can identify these three men, which will probably put them so far in the prison system that you would have to pump daylight to him. But he's alive. And all they do is pop! Really? And that's it? And they kidnapped all three of you. But they let two of you go and they kept one. The truck was later, was later found today in Missouri City, Texas. It was parked in a shopping center parking lot, open to the public, visible. Anybody can see it. It's just sitting right there. It's another red flag. Why would they do that? Okay. The police, investigators there, they searched the vehicle inside and out. Allegedly, there were no signs of any kind of criminal activities. It was clean, for the most part. But it was 5 miles from where he say they dropped him off. It's another red flag. The police said he was a suspect from the day one. And I knew it, whether they said it or not, I knew he was. His story continued to change as to what happened and what did not happen. Okay? They were on their way to pick up Brittany, the child's mother. Again, she'd been out of town, buried her dad. Her plane landed. Vence and the 2 children should have been there to pick up Brittany. They were nowhere to be found. Take notes. They were nowhere to be found. Brittany calls her mother to come and pick her up from the airport. Mother shows up, pick Brittany up. Brittany don't go home. Brittany don't make any calls. She spends the night with her mom. Oh, I didn't have my door key. That's why I didn't go. Okay, but let me ask you this, Brittany. Okay, you didn't have your door key, but no one showed to pick you up. And 2 children are involved, and your man, your boyfriend, your husband, or whatever else to you. That's not suspicious to you. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't set off alarms in your head. You go to sleep at your mom's house, and then you wake up Saturday. You wake up Saturday morning and say, okay, let's go ahead and file a missing police report. Why? That was another red flag. Brittany comes before the cameras. Here's the first thing she said when she first speak to media. Her very first words when she ever was interviewed. This is what she said. I just want Maleah back. I just want Maleah home. Maleah. Okay, but what's wrong with her saying she want Maleah home? That's her child. Most parents would have said, I want my baby home. I just want my baby back. That's what most parents would have said. The desert is dry, and so were her eyes. She tried her damnedest to squeeze out a tear. Wouldn't fall. Wouldn't fall. She was at the scene today. Falls out. Where's Maleah? Where's my baby? Acting. She's acting. She's acting. Okay, well, you can't say that she did this, Scott, because she was out of town on a flight. I don't give a damn if she was in Timbuktu. She may not have been there. But if she's not involved in this, she knows something about this. This is not a worried mother. Not at all. Not at all. Why do you say? I can look at her and I can tell. A little while ago, I watched another interview. I think it was with ABC, I think, and she was talking to the media. And all of a sudden, she said, I can't do this. I just can't do this. Okay, but why you can't? You keep turning to, why you can't do it? And you're not crying. You don't. There's no emotions whatsoever from this mother. None whatsoever. Brittany and Vence are no stranger to child protection services. They've met them several times. As early as last year. Maleah, in August of 2018, this is when child protection services first get involved with this family. Many of you are asking, why did she have to have so many brain surgeries? Well, if you don't know, I'm about to take you now. Maleah Davis and her two brothers, 5 and 1, both were removed from their mother's care, Brittany Bowles. Reason? Allegations of physical abuse. Maleah Davis had injuries which required many brain surgeries. That's why they were removed from that house, because the kids were being mistreated. Now, Maleah went to the hospital in, I think, July 10th. Doctors had to remove half of her skull for bleeding, and it was swelling. After the child was released from ICU, doctor's orders, Maleah must wear a helmet for 12 to 24 months. A couple of weeks later, Maleah is back in the emergency room. This time, she has a cut on her forehead. Blood is just outside of her brain. A life-threatening situation. A life-threatening situation for Maleah. One of these cases, the mother had to literally beg her daughter to take her daughter, Maleah Davis, to the hospital. That's something you don't have to tell a mother to do. A mother can be at work a good mother, a loving mother, a caring mother. If she's at work, if you leave the day with fire, I'm gone. She's going to go take care of her child. Nobody has to tell a good mother, a caring mother, take your child to the doctor. Now, these were some very, very serious injuries. One time before that, Maleah was taken to the hospital. That first time, they didn't do a brain scan. She fell out of a chair, sitting at the table by herself, eating. She fell out of the chair, sitting at the table by herself, eating. Now, you have to catch key words in here. uh, by herself. So what I want the police to think, or doctors to think, is that I wasn't right there with her. She was sitting there by herself, therefore no one could catch her. That's how she fell out of the chair and wound up with a big gash side of her head. She had to have been 30 or 40 damn feet up in the air for something like that to happen. A gash just from boom, boom. If anything, it probably would have put a little knot there. That was it. But at that time, no one sounded the alarm. They didn't do a CT. Now, I said it the other night, and I'm gonna say it again tonight. But I'm gonna clear it up just a little bit. A lady on our injustice page, I understand exactly what she meant. She said many are saying that it's CPS's fault. They're blaming them. I'm blaming them. But here's what I said the other night. I am blaming them because they dropped the ball on this one. But I'm not blaming them alone. The first blame goes to, rightfully so, the parent, the mother, the stepfather. Blame. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. CPA, once they took the kids out of the home, released them to some relatives. A few months later, a judge orders the children return, but make a visit, maybe once a month, to see what's going on. Maleah Davis, from the time she came into this world, was placed into the hands of evil. And that's just the bottom line. Placed into the hands of evil. This is something that no one wants to hear and may not agree with, but this is not going to be a happy ending. This is not going to be a happy ending by any means whatsoever. It's not going to be. Again, the parents, the mother and Vence, both have a history of child abuse and child neglect. Therefore, in my opinion, Maleah should have never been with them. They should not have been allowed to speak with Maleah Davis over the phone or the other two children. Should not have been allowed. Yesterday in an emergency hearing pertaining to the welfare of the kids, the judge made a decision I totally agree with. Neither Brittany nor Vence can have any contact with any of their children. And I totally agree with that. But that was done months ago, and you should have left it alone and found somewhere with love and where they could be, and they would be in the arms of safety rather than in the arms of evil. Vence's story as to what happened has changed over and over again. And that happens when you're lying, because you don't remember the first lie. And when police ask you a question one time, and you give your answer, they're going to come back later, and they're going to ask that same question in a different form. You think you're smarter than the cops, but you're not, and they're going to catch you in your lie. It's just a matter of time. I strongly believe that Brittany, if she didn't have a role in this, what happened to this child, she knows what's going on. What mother gets off of a damn plane and her child is not there and a man is not there to pick her up from the airport and bring her home? You don't call to see if they're all right. Honey, why y'all didn't show up? Where you at? You do nothing. And you go to sleep at your mom's house. What kind of mom says, Brittany, shouldn't you call? Shouldn't you? Do you want to go by there? I mean, this is not making any sense. The mother is trying extremely hard to get sympathy from the public. She has absolutely zero sympathy from me. What has happened to Maleah Davis will not be a happy ending, no matter how you look at it. We just have to be real with ourselves. July 28th, when she says Maleah fell while sitting at the table eating by herself. The doctor said that was virtually impossible, the injuries she received, for her to just have sat in the chair and fell out. There was some internal injuries going on then. So that was impossible. So here's what was probably going on. If she fell, I doubt it. The internal injuries have been afflicted upon the child throughout time. Boom, 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 boom. Hitting her upside her head, beating her, throwing her over here, throwing her over there. If you don't want what you produced, or you can't handle what you produced, I have nothing but respect for you when you put that child in the arms of somebody that will love it and bring it up right, rather than you go and you dog that child and you mistreat that child. Nothing about Brittany says that she is mourning for her daughter. I don't give a damn how much she screamed, how she fall out, and they got to go and they got to pick her up. Can't you see she's distraught? Bullshit, I can't see it. I can't see it. I cannot see it. If not both, one of them nowhere. Maleah is. There were no Hispanic males. There were no black males. There were no white males. There were no males. Okay, hypothetically, they were males. It did happen that way. But he knew it was going to happen. Think about it. You just happened to pull over because you heard a popping sound. And boom, they came right behind you. Why? Why? And then you get treated for an injury. The first thing you should have done is flag somebody down and say, call the police. The police were going to make sure that you get medical treatment. From the time that you got yourself back together in your right mind, I think that was 21 hours later, in your right mind, you're back. That's a lot of time for alleged kidnappers to play with. They could be anywhere by now. But when you come back to your senses, what would be the first thing most parents would do? Call the police. Stop somebody. Can I use your phone? Can I use your phone? I ain't got to use. Call the police. My baby's gone. That never happens. And so when that doesn't happen and you go straight to the hospital for yourself, you really turn in state on yourself. And something is terribly wrong with the mother when she don't go home after leaving town to lay her daddy to rest, so she said, that she does not contact her husband or boyfriend or whatever it is she wants to call him to find out why y'all didn't show up. What happened? Where's Maleah? That's a red flag. That's a major red flag to me. One time, Maleah Davis had to be hospitalized. I think it was 5 days later after one of her visits to the emergency room because she had a seizure. That time they did the CT scan, and that's when they said they found the bleeding on the left-hand side of the brain. This child has been nothing but a punching bag and entertainment for those two individuals. And when it's all over, said and done, and they get arrested, they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. However, no punishment on the planet would fit them well right now. It just wouldn't. I believe Maleah's dead. That's just the bottom line. She's in the woods somewhere, probably within the vicinity of where he claims he was dropped off at. But this doesn't make any damn sense for me if I'm kidnapping a child or anybody, if I'm going to leave a witness alive. No. If I'm going to kidnap a child or anyone, and I know you know who I may not know my name, but you know my face, you know what I had on, you know what I was driving, you probably got the license plate to the truck. Leaving you alive, I may as well go to the police station and give them my damn ID. Because I did. Doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And there are some other developments in the story that I can't share with you right now because it is an ongoing investigation. But in due time, once this comes to its end, I will come back and tell you the things we found out today. But you don't want to be the reason an investigation doesn't go well because you said something that you shouldn't have said. But I know we will be back to bring you that information whenever this comes to its end. I would say that my prayers are with Brittany. My prayers are not with Brittany. My prayers are not with Vence. They are child abusers, and they have no business with a child in this world. Whether it's theirs or not, they should not ever be allowed to be around children. It's as simple as that. Now you ask yourself the question, when you look at Brittany before the cameras, and I'm going to put some pictures up once we end this broadcast. If you look at her pictures, you tell me, especially mothers that are watching this right now, you tell me that looks like a mother that's worried about her child. It doesn't make any sense what has happened to Maleah. And when you see her on the pictures, you can almost shed a tear because she looks like she is so happy. But she wasn't. No one can be happy being treated like a dog. Can't be. But what was Maleah Davis to do? She's only 4 years old. The ones that have her are supposed to be loving her, caring for her, providing for her, protecting her. So what do? I'm trapped. And I'm 4. I don't know what to say. I don't know who to say anything to. Or maybe I think I've done something wrong. I'm going to ask that you all would go on my page or any other page and begin to share the stories about Maleah Davis. Whatever the outcome may be, it helps that we can bring this to an end real soon. I'm not going to ask that you think about what if it was your child. I don't have to say that because if it's in your heart, you're going to do it regardless. So, it's a terrible situation. We see more and more of this every day with parents just abusing their kids. As Tyler Perry said in one of their plays, I've watched a dog give birth. That don't make it a mother. It doesn't. What you don't want, somebody needs. What you disrespect, somebody will respect until they die in day. Maleah Davis is somewhere. And in a minute, we'll find out where she's at. For those of you that really want to make a difference in this case, talk about it more. Spread it. Because it goes on more than you think. 2 stories today we pulled up. One lady left a live baby inside of a dumpster. Said she just didn't want it. Take it to the police station. Take it to the fire station. Leave it at the hospital. Don't torture that child because you don't want that child, or you are just mentally disturbed and you do not have emotions to deal with a child, whether they're doing something wrong or not. But there's not anything on the planet, and I'm sure heaven is backing me up, there's not anything on the planet that a 4-year-old child could do that would cause parents to beat that child over and over and over and over and over again. And from those beatings, she has had multiple surgeries. The last surgery was just last month. She has serious medical issues. She has medication that she needs. This is an extreme emergency, regardless to the outcome. Let's help the authorities bring this to an end by sharing this post and this video and other things about Maleah Davis. And why don't you just write something about Maleah Davis and share that? I'm Al Scott with Injustice Investigations. As always, we thank you all for tuning in. If there are any more updates throughout tonight, I promise you we will go live and let you all know. Maleah Davis, don't know you, but I love you. I'm Al Scott. I'm not always right. You're not always wrong. Y'all have a good evening.